My dear friends, my brothers and sisters, let me take you back to a moment that changed everything for me. I was lying in that hospital bed, my body broken, shattered after the accident. Doctors said I would never walk again. But in that darkness, I discovered a light brighter than any sunrise, a light called language English. It wasn't money that lifted me. It wasn't pity. It was the power to speak, to rise above my wheelchair and touch the world. When I started learning English, I wasn't chasing perfection. I was chasing possibility. I wanted to express my pain, my passion, my purpose. And that's when I realized language is not about grammar. It's about grace. It's not about vocabulary, vulnerability. You don't speak English to impress others. You speak it to express yourself. Today, share with you something powerful. How to become fluent in English in 30 days. Not by memorizing rules or filling notebooks, but by living the language. Fluency is not learned. It's absorbed. First thing you must understand is that learning English is not a subject. It's a lifestyle. If you treat it like homework, it will always feel like pressure. But if you treat it like music, you will start dancing with words. Need fancy tutors or expensive courses. You need curiosity. You need the hunger to grow. You need to whisper to yourself every morning, I can. I will. When I started, I didn't even know how to form a proper sentence. I would sit in front of the mirror and speak to myself in broken English. I would say things like, I am trying. And sometimes that's enough to try, because the first step toward fluency is fearlessness. You must stop being afraid of making mistakes. Mistakes are not signs of weakness. They are signs that you are moving forward. Every great speaker you admire once sounded exactly like you do right now. Unsure, hesitant, afraid to be judged. But they didn't stop, and neither should you. So here's the truth. You don't become fluent by studying English for hours. You become fluent by using it every single day. Day journey begins with one simple rule. Create an English environment around you. Change the language of your phone, your social media, your thoughts. Talk to yourself in English even when no one is listening, because that's the beauty of growth. It doesn't need an audience. It just needs consistency. When I couldn't move much physically, I trained my mind. I watched English movies with subtitles. I paused and repeated the dialogues in until my tongue could dance with the same rhythm. I read children's books because they are written with simplicity and soul. I would write one paragraph every day about how I felt, even if I made mistakes. And slowly the words that once scared me became my friends. Fluency isn't about speed, it's about connection. Can you connect your thoughts to your words? Can you connect your words to your emotions? Once that bridge is built, you will no longer speak English. You will feel it. Now let me tell you the secret method I discovered. The 30-day immersion. It's simple, beautiful, and anyone can do it. For the first 10 days, you focus on listening. Forget speaking for a moment. Listen to podcasts, to songs, to TED Talks, to audiobooks. Not like a student, but like a child learning their mother tongue. Worry about understanding every word. Focus on the emotion, the tone, the rhythm. When a child learns a language, they don't start with grammar sound. That's how you must begin, by soaking your mind in English. The next 10 days, you move to speaking. Stand in front of the mirror. Record yourself or talk to a friend. Choose one topic every day and speak for 5 minutes. It doesn't matter if your grammar is wrong or if your accent isn't perfect. The goal is movement, not mastery. Speak about your dreams, your day, your thoughts, until English stops feeling foreign and starts feeling familiar. The final 10 days are for thinking and writing. Every morning, a short journal in English. What you feel, what you learned, what you're grateful for. And before you sleep, reflect in English. Thoughts in English. The moment you start thinking in English, fluency will no longer be a dream. It will be your reality. I used to believe that English was only for the privileged, those who went to fancy schools or traveled abroad. But the truth is, English is not a status symbol skill. And any skill can be learned if the heart is willing. You don't need perfect pronunciation to be powerful. You need authenticity. You need confidence. You need to believe that your voice, no matter how it sounds, matters. There were days when I laughed at myself. Once I was practicing English with a friend and I mispronounced vegetables as WG tables. She laughed. I laughed too, but I didn't stop. If you can laugh at your mistakes, they lose their power over you. That's how you grow, with humility and humor. You see, fluency is not a race journey of transformation. Every new word you learn, every sentence you form, adds another brick to the foundation of your confidence. Confidence, not vocabulary, is the real secret of fluent speakers. I know many of you sitting here have dreams of traveling abroad, getting better jobs, starting YouTube channels, or connecting with people across the world. But you hold yourself back because you think my English isn't good enough. Let me tell you, it's not your English that's holding you back. It's your fear. Break that fear and the words will follow. You know how children learn to speak? They listen, they copy, they fail, and they try again. They don't judge themselves, say, "Oh, my grammar is wrong." They just keep speaking until one day they are fluent. You must do the same. Be childlike in your curiosity. Chase perfection, chase progress. When you wake up every morning, say to yourself, "Today I will learn one new word, one new phrase. We'll use it." Make English your companion. Label things in your room. Saying glass. Say this is a glass of water. Instead of scrolling endlessly, listen to one motivational video in English, excuses with exposure. In just 30 days of conscious effort, you'll notice something magical. You'll stop translating in your head, will flow naturally. You'll start thinking, responding, and even dreaming in English. You'll realize fluency was never about learning harder. It was about believing deeper. I want you to remember this endless English is not the language of the elite. It is the language of empowerment. It connects you to the world, but more importantly, it connects you to yourself. When you learn to express yourself in another language, you discover new parts of who you are. When I speak today on international platforms, people often ask, "Muniba, how did you learn to speak so confidently?" And I smile and say, "I practiced speaking even when no one was listening." You see, the world doesn't reward talent. It rewards persistence. And if you persist for 30 days with faith and focus, you will become fluent. Not just in English, but in courage, in discipline, in growth. So today, I want you to promise yourself something. Promise that you will not let fear silence your tongue. Promise that you will speak even if your voice trembles. Promise that you will learn not to impress, but to express. English is just a tool. The real power lies in you. And when you finally speak fluently, don't forget to lift others. Teach them what you learned. That English is not about accent. It's about access to opportunities, to knowledge, to confidence. Because language, when shared, becomes legacy. So 30 days commit to this journey. Listen, speak, think, write every single day. No excuses, just pure effort. And at the end of those 30 days, just be fluent in English. You'll be fluent in self-belief. My friends, I couldn't walk, but I learned to fly with words. I couldn't dance. I learned to move hearts with sentences. And if I can do it, so can you. Because it's not your body that defines your limits. It's your belief. My dear friends, is the language every soul understands. So rise up, speak up, learn with love. One language can open 1,000 doors. And the first door it opens is the door to your own potential. You have 30 days. What you gain will last a lifetime. Be proud of your voice. Be proud of your journey. And remember, fluency doesn't come from perfection, from persistence. Speak your heart. Live your truth. And let the world hear your story. One beautiful English word at a time. 30 days are over. My dear friends, don't stop there. Don't say, "I've learned enough." Because learning is not a destination, a lifelong companion. You see, English, like life, keeps evolving. The more you use it, the more it expands your world. It gives you wings, but only if you keep flying. I often meet young people who say, "Muniba, I tried speaking English for a week, laughed at me." And I tell them, let them laugh. One day, clap. You must be willing to be misunderstood for a while before you are celebrated for a lifetime. Every expert was once a beginner speaker, once stumbled, hesitated, and doubted. But they didn't give up. And that's what makes all the difference. Not talent, not luck, but consistency. There is something magical that happens when you start believing in your own voice. Words you once struggled to pronounce begin to flow effortlessly. The same sentences that took you minutes to form come out naturally. Why? Your confidence rewires your brain. Confidence is not built by being perfect. It's built by practicing when no one's watching. If you truly want to master English, fall in love with it. Don't treat it like a chore. Treat it like a friend. Watch movies not just for entertainment, education. Listen to people who inspire you. I used to watch Oprah. I used to listen to speeches by Jim Rohn. And I would repeat after them, word by word, tone by tone. I wasn't copying them. I was training my tongue and my confidence. And then something wonderful happened. One day, invited to give a talk in English. My heart was racing. My palms were sweaty. My mind was whispering, what if you make a mistake? But my soul replied, so what if I do? I'll make it beautifully. And that day when I finished speaking, the audience stood and applauded. Not because my grammar was perfect, my passion was pure. You see, the secret is this. The world connects with emotion, not perfection. If your words come from the heart, they will reach other hearts. No matter the accent, no matter the mistakes, because authenticity speaks louder than accuracy. For those of you who feel shy, tell you something. Shyness is just fear wearing a polite mask. Take it off. Time you stop yourself from speaking English. Because you think someone might laugh, you give away your power. But when you speak anyway, you reclaim it. Try this simple exercise every night before you sleep. Look in the mirror and say, I am improving every single day. My words are becoming clearer, stronger, and affirm it. Because the brain listens to your voice more than anyone else's. Tell yourself the truth you want to live. Speak your future into existence. And when you wake up in the morning, speak your gratitude in English. Say, I am thankful for this new day. I am thankful for my voice. I am thankful for the chance to learn. You see, gratitude opens the mind. A grateful learner always learns faster because they see every mistake as a blessing, not a burden. Sometimes when I look back at my journey, I realize that English was never just a language for me. It was healing. It gave me the strength, and before I end, I want you to remember something very important. The biggest prison in the world is not made of iron bars, it is made of fear and doubt. So many people stay silent, not because they have nothing to say, but because they are afraid of saying it wrong. But let me tell you this today. Mistakes are not your enemies, silence is. Every time you try, every time you speak, every time you dare to express yourself, you are breaking another wall that once held you back. One sentence today becomes a conversation tomorrow, and that conversation becomes confidence for a lifetime. Do not wait for the perfect moment, because perfection is an illusion. Progress is what changes lives. Speak even when your voice trembles. Speak even when your grammar is not perfect. Because the world does not remember perfect grammar, it remembers courageous voices. One day you will realize that the language you were once afraid of became the bridge that connected you to opportunities, friendships, knowledge, and dreams you never thought possible. So stand up, speak up, and let your words travel farther than your fears ever could. Your voice matters. Your story matters. And the moment you decide to use your voice without fear, that is the moment your real journey begins. And before you close this chapter of learning, pause for a moment and ask yourself a simple question. Who would I become if I stopped being afraid to speak? Because language is not just grammar, vocabulary, or pronunciation. Language is courage. It is the bridge between the thoughts in your mind and the impact you can make in the world. Right now, there are ideas inside you that the world has never heard. There are stories in your heart that could inspire someone who is struggling in silence. But those stories will remain hidden if fear keeps your voice locked away. Every great speaker, every confident communicator, every person you admire once stood exactly where you are standing now. Unsure, hesitant, worried about making mistakes. The difference is that they chose action over fear. They spoke even when their voice was shaky. They tried even when they were not perfect, and slowly, step by step, word by word, their confidence grew. That same journey is waiting for you. Remember, fluency is not built in a single day. It is built in moments, the moment you repeat a sentence until it feels natural. The moment you understand a phrase you once struggled with. The moment you realize you can express your thoughts without translating every single word. Those small moments are the bricks that build the strong foundation of your voice. So never underestimate the power of consistent effort. 5 minutes of practice today is stronger than 1 hour of practice that never happens. One new word learned today is better than 1,000 words you promised to learn tomorrow. Progress loves discipline, not excuses. And yes, there will be days when motivation fades. days when you feel tired, distracted, or discouraged. But those are the days that define your growth. Because true confidence is not built on motivation, it is built on commitment. When you show up for your goals, even when you don't feel like it, you prove to yourself that your dreams are stronger than your doubts. Imagine yourself 1 year from now. Imagine speaking clearly, confidently, sharing your thoughts with people from different countries, understanding conversations that once felt impossible. That future version of you is not a fantasy. It is a result waiting to happen if you stay consistent. The truth is, learning English is not just about language. It is about expanding your world. It allows you to read new ideas, connect with new cultures, discover opportunities you never knew existed. It opens doors that once seemed locked, but the key has always been in your hands. The key is your willingness to try, to practice, to keep going even when progress feels slow. So from this moment forward, make a promise to yourself. Promise that you will not let fear silence your voice. Promise that you will practice a little every day. Promise that you will celebrate your progress instead of criticizing your mistakes. Because the person who keeps moving forward, even slowly, will always reach farther than the person who never starts. Your voice deserves to be heard. Your ideas deserve to be shared. Your journey is just beginning. So take a deep breath, speak your next sentence with confidence, and remember that every word you say is another step toward the powerful, fearless version of yourself that has been waiting inside you all along.